Riff Ranch.
Intro art provided by Jeremiah Gardner.
Yeah.
There you go.
Welcome back to the Riff Ranch podcast.
Yeah, we're
Today
getting really good at this.
Yeah, are we? I feel great about this, you guys. I think it's the new setup or something, but I'm feeling great.
Yeah, something about it's got me fucking brickety. Do you feel me?
Something about this got me gabagood, you know?
That's so funny.
Gabagood.
How are you, Kyle?
I'm great, man, you know? I'm starting a new job this week, in case
Starting a
y'all
new job?
Yeah, y'all are going to see me in some scripts.
We have day jobs.
We have day jobs, by
This
the way.
doesn't pay.
This does not pay us at all. But we're going to talk about Local 58 today.
Yeah, we're talking about some anal OGs again.
We talked about Local 58 is the first analog horror we talked about on this podcast, and we
it was
talked
almost
about
a year, but to the
almost
year
a
to
year,
the day, right?
Almost a year to the day. Yeah, we're a couple days late. If we had shot this a couple days ago, it would have been exactly a year to the day.
Oof.
But yeah, Local 58. We're gonna do a little recap of it, and then we're gonna talk about the new shit that they're putting out, because Local 58, if you guys didn't know, just started back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited
it was
about
super
it.
surprising to me, and it's like one of the original.
I saw a thing the other day that was like, oh, the Local 58, the original analog horror. And that's not true. Marble Hornets is older than Local 58.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Because Local 58 only started like 7 years ago or something like that. And Marble Hornets is over 10 years old.
Yeah, I believe that was going around like.
In like 2011, I think, is when Marble Hornets started. Or maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Me as an old man lived through all those.
I remember finding Marble Hornets in like 2012. That's when me and Andrew
Yeah, I want to say it was like the end of middle school to me, like beginning of high school.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But anyway, I think we're gonna eventually talk about Marble Hornets here on the podcast. But today we're talking about Local 58, our first
Local 58.
analog horror that we talked about on here.
So.
I have a couple lists. I have just the names of the episodes, and I figured we can give a brief description of what happened and kind of like our opinion of what was going on. So the first one is You Are on the Fastest Route. I don't know if you remember this one. It's like the guy, he's driving down the road, and his GPS starts giving him weird directions, and it starts sending him down a dirt road, and then it's saying crazy shit like turn your headlights off, and starts giving out like
I do remember that.
Yeah, you remember that one?
Ooh, spooky.
And then something happens, and his camera gets like thrown off the dashboard, and you just see him running from something, and that's kind of the end of the first video. Do you remember?
Yeah. And now that we have seen the most recent episode, which we have just watched right before this episode,
I think we know what he's running from.
Yeah,
Exactly. I think we can kind of concrete, which is
neat.
crazy. You know, Local 58 stopped for 2 years. Everyone thought it was kind of over, because I think it leaves off in a
kind of
decent
like.
place.
I thought it was like a cliffhanger, if I remember right. But once again, I'm not too terribly familiar.
The final episode is a bit of a cliffhanger, but it leaves enough off in the previous episodes that it was kind of like a good leaving off spot, I feel like, you know? It left just enough for like you to wonder what's going to happen, but also kind of get the gist of what's going on.
Yeah.
The next episode is contingent, and I don't have all the episodes. I'm missing one episode, and I can't remember which one it is. But the next episode I have down is Contingency, which is the wildest one to me. Contingency
what episode is it compared to the first? Like what in order? What episode is it?
Contingency is definitely episode 2. I think it's like episode 4 or 5 that I'm missing. If you want to pull it up. The next episode is Contingency. Contingency is the one that's like really like this one really I remember getting me back when I was watching this. Contingency starts off as like didn't mean to do that.
Yes, girl.
Contingency starts off as like a broadcast, and it's warning people like you guys need to do your civic due diligence and basically unalive yourself. Right? Like,
which we know one thing here on the Riff Ranch podcast.
It's basically
it's
like,
not okay to unalive yourself.
Yeah, this broadcast was supposed to happen in like the 60s or 70s or something, and it was basically like, hey, the enemy is here. It just says the enemy.
The enemy is not.
It doesn't say like the
Reds are coming.
or like it doesn't say anything like that. It just says
it really does
the enemy.
The enemy is here.
Yeah.
And like, if I don't know, that would I understand how your first thought wouldn't go to aliens.
Yeah.
But it's also like, if the government, like if on my computer right now, I mean, I know it's analog or whatever, but on my computer right now, if something popped up and it was like, the enemy is here, I know, first thing.
Now, I want to, disclaimer. The person who made this is actually the same person that made the creepypasta Candle Cove. If you've ever
Really?
Yeah, I just found that out yesterday when I was looking into this some more.
Very neat.
So shout out to, I wish we had the creator's name.
Candle
right?
Cove.
But shout out to the person that makes the Local 58. They also
Written
make
and edited
Candle
by Chris Straub.
If you guys haven't seen Candle
Straub.
Cove, it's a really interesting creepypasta that has to do with like hidden or missing episodes of children's shows and like it has a lot.
like a episode of a kids show that you saw that just wasn't exactly right. Like,
Yeah. It was a lot of stuff like that that was going on in Candle Cove, and I think that's really interesting that they made Candle Cove and then also went on to make this. Like they made creepypastas before, but they wanted to do a little bit more,
a little bit extra, and I mean they put that nice seasoning on there because it's obviously
But the
it's
disclaimer,
popular enough for us and several hundred other people to make a video about it.
Yeah, I agree. But the disclaimer I had was. He said that it is not aliens. A lot of like the big fan theory on Reddit.
Really?
Yeah, he said it's not aliens. What is going on in here is not aliens.
It's not aliens.
It's
It's not aliens.
I believe it's something eldritch. You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle that word on everything.
Why? Why eldritch? You think?
So
aren't eldritch things just aliens anyway?
Yeah, it's kind of alien, right? Like it's cosmic horror.
Yeah, it's cosmic horror. It's like a god, but really this god is just like a cosmic entity.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know, man.
But he
Has
said
it been 10 minutes yet? Can I say fucking? We'll edit it in post.
I don't know. I can't look at the time anymore.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
We're
anyway,
official now.
We're official now.
But yeah, I think it's got to be alien. How can it not be some type of alien?
Said it's not aliens.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Said it's not aliens. There's actually a bit, I was listening to the original podcast to get some of the information for this, and there were several bits where I was just like, I wanted to be like, if we shot that today, I could be like, it's not aliens. Hear me out. It's not aliens. Like, and do little bits like that we do now. It's like, I don't know. Like, I was way more stiff back then, and you were like an alcoholic. So
yeah. It was like, hey Kyle, today I might just say something racist on the podcast, and he's like, oh please don't.
Oh please don't. I want to get monetized.
We're never gonna get rich if you keep trying to say the N-word.
Bailey's like, today's the day, Kyle.
Today's the day.
Jesus.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Yeah, but Contingency, I think, was one of the best episodes. Basically, it kind of implies that after some time has passed, it's a little bit too late, but another broadcast comes up and it's like, do not listen to that last broadcast. We do not want you to unalive yourselves. That was just a drill. We are not being invaded by a foreign nation. But the implication there is that people have already kind of started unaliving themselves.
Yeah. As you would, I think, a lot of people in hysterics would. I mean, it's kind of like a thing for people. People are kind
especially
of
during like a Cold War kind of time where people are scared of being.
Yeah, where it's like it's the brink of war. Civil almost like the way we are right now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Civil unrest.
Civil unrest, that's what it's called. I said duress. What the fuck? Anyway.
Yeah.
The next one I got here.
Mass delusion.
Mass delusion. Weather service announcement is also a really good one.
Weather service announcement.
That's the one that like peers up to the moon at the end, but it's basically like an announcement comes up and it's like, there is a meteorological event going on tonight. Stay in your homes. Do not go outside. Do not look at the sky.
Do not look at the moon.
And then another announcement comes up and it's like, that was just a joke. There's actually a really cool like meteorological event going on outside right now. You should all go outside and
it's
look
just a joke. We're joking.
We're just joking. You should all go look at the moon right now. It is okay. A-OK safe.
A-OK safe. Mercury is in Gatorade. Go see it.
And then like the announcements kind of go back and forth telling people, do go look outside, don't look outside, do go look outside. And it's like fucking back and forth. And then the video ends with the camera kind of peering up at the moon and you just hear people screaming outside. And that's kind of the whole thing. Clearly, some people went to go look at the moon and something happened there.
Almost as if the moon was a giant ethereal being that was mentally torturing the people that are... I mean, I don't know. I kind of trailed off, but you get what I'm saying, right, guys? Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Hit us with a comment if you think Kyle is gay.
Oh, what? Why do I have to be gay?
We can blurb that out.
I don't want to be gay.
Bailey. Why do I have to be gay? You're the one who chose to be. I don't want to... That's super funny. We don't believe it's a choice. We don't believe it's a choice here.
Yeah, Bailey didn't have a choice in being gay. You told me that in confidence.
Hell yeah, dude. We're working really hard to not get monetized. Every day we get closer and closer towards our goal of not making any money.
I think we're doing pretty good.
Oh yeah, we're doing really fucking good.
If we weren't trying to make money on here, we're doing great. The next one is a show for kids. It's like a little skeleton cartoon guy walking through a graveyard at night, and then he like looks up at the moon and falls into a grave or something, and he dies, and his spirit goes out or some shit like that.
Which is reminiscent of those old Betty Boop cartoons. Whatever style of I can't baby doll style, whatever the fuck it's whatever it's called. It's very reminiscent of that. And like I mean, you know, like some of the audience might know the Suicide Boys music video, right? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if you're allowed to say it. I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, Unalive Boys.
I don't know. I mean, it's a fucking group. You can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should.
It counts.
It counts, I think.
Yes. She put a bag on my head. Anyway,
there's not a whole lot to do. So I will say I do have a note from that one after we talked about it, because in our original podcast, this is around the time where you said I think it's demons, and then we had watched.
It's demons.
We had talked about the show for kids or whatever that episode is called, and the skeleton dies and goes in the grave, and you were like, I think it's some kind of rapture situation going on. Where, you remember
that's
that?
right. I remember now.
Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic, so I forget things.
Bailey thought it was some kind of rapture situation going on where people are being raptured, and that's kind of why people are disappearing, or like they're having to go up in the moon and they're being raptured away when they look at the moon or something.
Yeah. Or like, but it's not, but in the sense of like, it's not necessarily like the rapture the way we would say it. It would be like the rapture
inverse of who the good guys are.
Yeah. It would be like looking up at a terrifying ethereal figure who's basically mentally torturing you at the sight of the moon. It's like in Planet of the Apes, the third one, or whatever, like how they have that beam that inflicts like till they think they're on fire and stuff like that. Yeah. Almost exactly like that, but it's like sucking your soul up in a metaphorical sense, not a physical sense.
The next one I got here is a look back, where it's like it shows like different Local 58 logos, and it's supposed to be like looking back at the channel of Local 58 over the years and like all the different things that they've done and covered. What?
Just the thought over the years with channel or Local 58,
because
and it's just like screaming. Fucking
no, but it is like a look back, and it's like, yeah, look at all the cool stuff we did, and then it's like static for a second, and then it's like
it's a conctroid. It's a conctroid. I fucked it up.
We start right back at that.
Yeah, conctroid.
It says something along the lines of, we sent messages out to them. Did we really think that they wouldn't send messages back or something like that?
Yeah.
And that kind of went back in our original episode when we talked about it. You were like, I think it's demons. I think it's something about us sending messages out to these demons and they're sending something back. You said something along those lines. I'm sure I'm not getting your theory exactly right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a long time ago. That was another Bailey, bro.
That was another Bailey, bro.
I tell you what, dog. The way I'm thinking it, and the way I can piece together my mind making the assumption that that was what was.
We also have new information from the new episode that we just watched.
Yeah.
So like, there's a little bit more going on there.
Like, if you were to send a signal through like microwaves or radio waves or whatever, I'm sure radio waves are just like the residual radiation left over from the Big Bang or whatever. I'm sure, considering it should be on more than one dimensional plane, and maybe in that sense he's right. It's not aliens.
Oh, do you think they're saying we're not sending them out in space? We're sending them out to other dimensions, and you think it might be like a dimensional thing?
Like if everything was made from the Big Bang, then wouldn't all dimensions kind of have that radio wave, residual radio wave? Because it's
what if there's multiple Big Bangs for different universes?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Let us know what you think in the comments.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know how that works. I didn't go to college. And I didn't graduate high school, so I don't know how to count to half. Yeah, he's marketing, and I sling meat.
There you go. The next one is Real Sleep, and I think this is the scariest one to me of the original run of the Local 58. Real Sleep is the one where it's like, it starts off as like a VHS video that someone's putting on of like instructions on how to get like a good night's sleepy sleep.
Good night sleepy time.
Yeah. And
I
it's
like a good snooze.
It's like telling you what you should do to get a good night's sleep, and then it kind of like steadily starts giving you instructions on how to do like facial de-recognitioning, like where you wouldn't.
What?
Like, yeah, like it's trying to get you to. I forget what that's
facial
called.
de-recognition.
Yeah, like where what is that called? Where like you can't recognize people's faces.
Autism.
We're definitely not making money now. Anyway, but anyway, like it's trying to break up your facial recognitioning processes, and it's like steadily like kind of mind washing you into stuff like that. And it says,
okay. So it's, I know.
So you can't recognize your family or friends or anyone around you. And you're
isolating yourself, isolating you, and reprogramming your brain to essentially worship this ethereal deity.
Yeah, so that you're alone. But then it starts going into saying things like, sleep is not for, what does it say? I can't remember off the top of my head. It's like not for the cleanly or something like that, or like the
sleep is not for the what?
It starts saying like sleep is not.
Anyway.
Sleep is not for like the proper, or sleep is like, it starts saying things like that basically, like it is not
sleep
good.
is not for the dignified.
Yeah, things like that.
Sleep is not for the well-off.
That's the
Leave
direction.
the sleep to the poor.
That's the direction that the video starts going down. So like not only is it trying to break up your facial recognitioning, but it's telling you don't go to fucking sleep.
Leave the sleep for the rats.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah, shit like that. And that, I don't know, it's one of the scariest episodes when you watch it, and like the whole fucking, I don't know, it just has a very eerie tone to it, you know what I'm saying? The next one, I just have a thing about Bailey and demons and rapture. Sky watching. Fuck, I wish I could remember fucking...
Sky watching. I mean, like, we have... It's a 4-minute video. We can just get it out of the thing.
Yeah. Okay, so back to it while Bailey's looking that up. So basically in the sky watching, what happens is it's like someone taking recordings of the moon. And this is kind of the best indicator of what's going on here. Like, you get to see the stars. The stars are a big part of this. And there's like a cluster of stars around Orion's belt at this one part of the sky watching video, and it's blinking up different words across the screen. Bailey's looking up what one of them means right now, and then it gives you a really good look of the moon and how like it almost looks like leathery skin, and you get to see like what looks like almost blood vessels and like all sorts of, it's clearly, to me anyway, it looks like a living organism. And I've listened to videos about it the other day that was talking about how you can see organs and shit going on in that video. And then at the very end, it's kind of like the moon gets really big and close to Earth, and it's bright as shit. And then the guy that's recording kind of sets the camera down on a tripod, and then he starts going and walking, and you can see his hands like rising up towards the moon.
Yeah. Like he's praising. He's like, oh Lord.
And then it says rejoice across the screen.
Take me away from this place. So,
and then you can also see what looks like some kind of mist or like clouds or something going
it's
into
almost
like
it's
a
almost
mouth.
like
It's breathing in.
It's big enough, and there's like, it's almost writhing, and it's like skin.
That to me, I think is the most important episode.
But imagine like perspiration, like if it's made of flesh, like it has to like perspirate in some instance, and if it's perspirating, it's almost like that's creating this atmosphere around it, and it's breathing in its own atmosphere.
I think that is the most important episode in the whole series. If you guys go watch, it's a 4-minute video. If you guys go watch anything, go watch Sky Watching.
If you ask me, I just broke the fucking case.
I just broke the fucking case.
The fucking case wide open, pussies.
That's what I was saying when you were asking about it ending and it ending on a cliffhanger or whatever. It does kind of end on a cliffhanger, but that one video right there gives you enough to kind of know what the fuck is going on.
Oh Lord, please take me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I learned what it is.
What does it mean?
The Pleiades are a star cluster in the Taurus constellation and a group of seven sisters in Greek mythology.
It was specifically pointing out that star cluster in the video when it said Pleiades. Okay.
So that star cluster must be important to where this creature came from.
Yeah. And hang on, I got some more.
The 7 daughters of Atlas turned into a group of stars.
So there's 2 episodes left.
A conspicuous cluster of stars in the constellation Taurus. Okay, well, whatever.
So there's 2 episodes left that we have to talk about before we talk about the new episode. The next one is called Digital Translation.
Digital translation. That sounds metal as fuck.
Digital translation shows, it's basically Local 58's like change from analog to digital. This is like the big episode where they're changing, like, because it's supposed to be like the turn of the new era, the 2000s and shit, and Local 58 is changing everything to digital. And then that kind of ties in with the ARG, which I didn't point this out in this episode, but I said it in the original episode when we covered it. There's an ARG to Local 58, and you're not going to get the full story if you just watch the videos. You have to kind of go through and play the ARG to get the bigger story, or you can go check out the subreddit where they kind of break it down, all of the videos, and they break down the whole ARG and kind of tell you like the deeper lore that's going on in this whole thing.
Yeah. You can watch this stuff a million times, and you can miss stuff anytime, and that's why I have so much respect for people who break down this kind of stuff. And
I wish we had.
We just kind of like chit chat and theorize about what we think is going to happen, and then
but these guys are the subreddits. These guys are fucking.
These guys dig deep. You got your claws in, and fucking.
Shout outs out to you guys in the subreddit.
What is it? Buddy said. Stand up and stand by.
Stand up and stand by, I think. I don't know. But in digital translation, so it's talking about, it shows all the different Local 58 like analog logos, and then they like showcase their new digital logo or whatever. And then there's kind of like another scratchy thing, and it says, on thinking, they moved to cut his throat, only to make thousands of mouths. If he is silenced, we speak for him. Signs and wonders flood our little sky. No stars above us, only eyes. Waiting to open, they are other receivers. That's what it says, and then the video ends. So like that also gives you a huge chunk of what's going on here. That's why I was saying the stars is a big part of it.
The stars. It's like, what if they are?
So I don't know if it means this literally, but what it is saying here is that the stars are eyes of something else. Or maybe it could even be eyes of this creature. Like that is how it's saying, like in some type of way. And I don't know if it means literally. This could be kind of a more figurative thing. But what I believe we're reading here is its followers. Which kind of comes back in the newer episode. We'll get to that in a second. But there are clearly followers of this thing and like what's going on here. And then the last one I have to talk about is called...
I haven't stimulated.
the last episode before we get to the new episode, because all these episodes are from like 2-3 years ago, is called Close. And Close is a really interesting episode because it's 30 minutes long and it doesn't give you a huge piece, but there's something going on in Close.
So if I can go back real quick to what you were just talking about with the whole like the stars.
Yeah.
The stars thing. What if like these that we've seen that the moon has the capability to just turn on by itself now.
Yeah.
Like this new moon or whatever.
Yeah.
What has happened to the original moon?
It might be the moon. Like this might be like it might have been dormant for all of this time, and then
just needed like a conduit to open it.
Yeah. That's my theory anyway. I don't know that's for sure. Maybe there could have been the original moon, and
what if it's like these celestial bodies themselves are just beings themselves, and it's not like aliens, but it's more like, I guess that would be more ethereal.
Yeah.
That would be like, and it really wouldn't be alien. Right?
Yeah.
I'm just really stuck on the how the fuck couldn't it be aliens part.
Yeah.
But it's not aliens. Hold on, they can fly, but it's not a bird. Like, what? Come on now.
So real quick, Close isn't that big of it. It's 30 minutes long, but it doesn't really give you as big of a chunk as the last 2 episodes did. Basically, there's this comet flying through the sky, and the whole 30 minutes is like documenting what's going on with this comet. And the comet from certain angles looks like a skull, which I feel like is kind of important because we're talking about like there might be these fucking deities up in the sky, and it could be like the moon and these other things. And there's a comet flying through the sky, which from certain angles looks like a skull, which could be like to me that's kind of saying, what if there are like these deity things in the sky, and this is like the skull This is kind of like the skull of like one of these deity things, and it's kind of been like knocked off or whatever, and it's flying through the sky now. And we're seeing like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like a deity's fucking skull is
Like
flying
somebody's
through the sky.
cap actually being capped off.
Yeah.
It's like
That's what the last episode is about, though, and it's like 30 minutes of that, and it doesn't give you a huge chunk. I feel like
the Celestials in Marvel, like Nowhere.
yeah, like Nowhere's
Like
head,
Nowhere,
kind of
the
floating
head
through
kinda floating through space.
Yeah.
Floating through space ever so slowly.
And
at
if
several
you guys,
trillion
so
miles
I
an
actually
hour.
wanted to say this because the moon might be like some kind of celestial body. It's extremely similar to Elder Scrolls. If you guys know anything about the lore of Elder Scrolls,
Wait. Time out. Are you telling me in Elder Scrolls the fucking moon is alive?
all of the moons around Elder Scrolls are the bodies of dead gods.
What
If you
the
didn't know
fuck?
that, if you didn't know that in Elder Scrolls, like
What
Skyrim
the
and shit,
fuck?
all of the moons around the planet are the bodies of dead gods. That's crazy, isn't it?
Zoom in on my face. Hold on. What the fuck? No, that is. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I
And
did not know
it
that.
reminded.
That's
I was
insane.
watching that whole thing about the moon and it being alive, and you can kind of like see the blood vessels and shit. And all I'm thinking of the whole time is, holy shit, this is just like Elder Scrolls, because that's how it is
Just
in
like
Elder
Elder
Scrolls.
Scrolls.
And if to get even crazier with the lore, if you know anything about like people from the future, because there are little tidbits of like people coming from the future in Elder Scrolls and shit like that. There's reference to dark elves leaving Tamriel and going to live on one of the moons in the future. So they leave the fucking planet and go and live on one of the bodies of these dead gods at one point.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's insane.
Yeah, the lore in that game's crazy. But anyway,
That's that Tyrael septum, man.
That's
You know
that.
that, man? That's that Tyrael
That's that Tyrael.
septum.
But now we're going to talk about the new episode, which I'm super excited to talk about.
Dang, blood! I thought you was on the moon.
I thought you was on the moon.
That's really funny.
I
That's
need some
insane,
water.
Kyle. I didn't realize.
That you was a nerd.
I didn't realize you were a fucking nerd. No, that is amazing.
Right.
I didn't know that. That was a fact. That's awesome. Guzzle, guzzle, guzzle.
I'll cut that out. Or I'll zoom into us while we're doing it. We'll see.
Guzzle, guzzle, guzzle.
Now, the next one.
Take it home.
It's kind of a lot of B-roll. That last one was very different from any of the other episodes, right? Like, there was a
Yeah.
lot of B-roll, and it was like, what was it saying during the B-roll? I'm trying to remember. It's something about a murder or someone went missing, and then there was like one witness in the area or something like that, and it was a woman staring up at the
Oh
moon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's
Do you
been
remember
like
if it was a murder? It was a murder, right? Am I wrong?
yeah something like that. I believe.
Yeah, and there was one witness in the area. There was footage or a photograph of the woman, and she's like staring up at the moon.
Yeah. A moon gazer.
Yeah, a moon gazer. And then the video kind of goes on and talks about how like she's been seen kind of all over the place since her first sighting, and it's just this woman staring up at the moon. Sorry. And then it goes on to be like, oh, it's the one guy. It looks like he's in his backyard or something, and he's like kind of zooming in on what clearly doesn't look like, in all the other shots, it kind of looks like a woman, and she has like this frilled hair in the back or whatever.
Yeah. Almost
But in
looks like it looks like a lady face with a lady face on the back of her face.
Yeah, her frilled hair kind of is supposed to look like another face. But then you zoom into it the last time, the one guy that's in his
Yeah.
backyard, and it's clearly two faces on both ends. It's not a woman
Yeah.
staring up at the moon.
It's like an alien that has like eye mouth and like split a little bit, almost like if you've seen VHS Beyond.
For some reason,
it's
it
almost
reminded me of the aliens from The Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason, it kind of reminded me of the aliens. You know how they have like the fucking long fucking heads, and I don't know. Something about it reminded me a little bit of the aliens from The Simpsons.
It really reminded
Shape-wise,
me
I
of,
guess. Shape-wise.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the spider from the Mandalorian with all the eyes on it.
Yeah. It looked a
Reminded
lot
me of
like
that a lot,
Yeah.
but it really is reminiscent of an alien from the new VHS Beyond movie.
Which I haven't seen, so I couldn't
Yeah.
say one way or the other. But the biggest, most important thing, I feel like at the end, it's some text across the screen that says something along the lines of, it cannot discern between prey and allies. implying that I don't know if it means like this alien looking thing that we're seeing in the newest episode, or if it means the moon itself. I feel like when I read that, I felt like it was talking about the moon. Like it's not going to be able to discern between its prey and its allies, the people that are trying to help the moon, its followers and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. It's almost like once again to bring it back to ethereal alien beings.
That is a very cosmic thing, right? Yeah. Like it can't. They usually won't discern between their cultists that are helping them and the people that they're trying to kill. That's usually how it goes.
But and
to go back to that eldritch theme that we were talking about earlier.
What I was thinking of after I saw that and after the moon part was like with Clovey.
Cloverfield?
The Cloverfield monster. How it has those creatures that are like fleas on its back.
Yeah. Or if you've ever seen Underwater, you see Cthulhu in that movie, and he has fucking like Cthulhu-like creatures all over his body. But that's like a thing with eldritch beings, I guess, you know?
Yeah, it's like almost like this creature is probably just a side effect.
That is kind of the impression I get from the creature we've seen in the episode. But
it's like they have like the symbiotic-ish relationship where like it can invoke people to look up at the moon. Yeah. Therefore, it feeds the moon, and also it gets to eat the physical body of the creature, of the being itself. Yeah. So, like, you know, I look and I see somebody looking at the moon in my backyard, and I'm like, what the fuck are they looking at? Then I look up at the moon, thinking that person's looking at the moon, and while I'm getting hypnotized by the deadlights, this creature from VHS Beyond comes up and eats me.
I believe that's the creature that was attacking people in the one episode where all the people go out and look at the moon. I believe that's the creature, because you kind of see a creature in the very first episode where it says you are on the fastest route. You kind of get a glimpse of a creature chasing the guy off. And I believe that is the creature from the very first episode. And, you know, we're kind of getting to see a bigger picture of everything that's going on. What are you looking for?
And action.
And action. But I think that's about all I had to say on it, honestly. You guys go check out the Local 58. It's starting back up. I think they're going to put out more shit here
probably
soon.
Monthly, or who knows. Yeah. The last episode was 3 weeks ago. So
there was only like 10 episodes total. They didn't look like they put things out very often. So I can't imagine that it'll be like maybe a couple times
crazy and theorize.
Yeah. Let it sink in definitely go check it out if you haven't already.
Go check them out. Go check out who was it? Chris Stroud.
2 or 3 people, after our last episode, 2 or 3 people hit me up and said that they went to go check out Local 58 because we talked about it. So hopefully, now that we have a full episode based on Local 58, you guys will go check it out. It'll be a good time for everybody.
It'll be a great time for everybody. Tell your friends. Tell your friends, your aunties, your uncles, your nieces, your nephews.
And most importantly, don't forget to like and subscribe.
And most importantly,
comment below.
Tell us what you think.
Share
Give us an analog horror to look at.
Oh, yeah. Comment below.
You know, and honestly...
Comment down in the penis section.
Comment right there. But only if, you know, if you want to.
Only consensually.
Consensually. I only comment
consensually.
You don't understand. Consent is the best part.
Anyway. Thank you, guys. We love you, and we need you.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
I love you so much. Bye, Mama. Bye, Mama.
Hey, Bailey. Hey, Kyle. It's me, Tank Dempsey in Steve Bloom cosplay. What's up, you beautiful bastards?